vital to the success of youth and families, and that peer support is a great way to provide education, empowerment, resources, and support to parents so that we can get better outcomes for our kids. So what outcomes are we talking about? And here's some data that I'm excited to share that talks about when we're engaging families in the care of their children, 81% attend school regularly, which is a 20% reduction in absences. The juvenile arrests fall by more than half. There's a reduction in suspensions and expulsions from school. And 48% of youth showed improvement in emotional and behavioral health. And I think those are outcomes we can all get behind. So in order to get the positive outcomes for youth, it's vital that we give families a voice. So let's move past some of the challenges and effectively engage parents in order to better serve youth. And this really talks about family-driven care. For my purposes, I like to use a definition that families have a primary decision-making role in the care of their own children, as well as the policies and procedures that govern care for all children in their community, in their state, their tribe, their territory, and their nation. And this would include choosing supports, services, providers. It would include setting goals, designing and implementing programs, monitoring outcomes, and determining the effectiveness of all of these efforts to promote the well-being of children and youth. So the voice, parents want to have a voice. Youth improve behaviorally and academically when their parents are involved. And I think that's not new to any of us. I mean, any of us that are parents know if we're involved with our kids, they seem to do better. And it's no different when we're dealing with challenging kids. Parents and caregivers, families, they help shape the values and the beliefs of youth, and which in turn affects their choices and behavior, or at least we really hope that it's somewhere down the road affecting their choices and their behavior. And this is why it's really, really important that we give parents a voice in this process. Understanding parents might help us to engage them better and to give them a voice. Whoops, and my fingers are too fast here. Parents see their children as people first, and their special needs come second. And I think that's really what makes family voice a unique and critical part of this. If you're a clinician, you're looking at a diagnosis. If you're a school, you're looking at, how the student functions in their environment. But if a family is really looking at the person as a whole, as the son or the daughter or the niece or the nephew or the grandchild that they are. And they're going to be their long-passing involvement with any of us that are involved professionally. So parents want to feel valued, listened to, and heard. They want to have less guilt, less blame. They want to be confident and knowledgeable. They want us to be proactive versus reactive. They want to be assertive versus aggressive. Parents want to be informed. They want to be involved and included in a meaningful way. They want to be regarded as the expert on their child's strengths and needs, and they want to have hope for their child's future. And so families have strengths, and I think that's really where peer support comes in. We build on those family strengths, and not that any of the professionals involved aren't trying to do that already, but we do it in a unique way because we're peers. We're other parents that are supporting these families that have kids that look very much the same as the kids that they're raising. And we're in a club that none of us really wanted to be in, but we're there and we can support each other. So I like to start with saying that families are the experts, and I say that right to the family when I meet them. I recognize you as the expert, and I know you have information that's going to be helpful to me in helping you to help your child. And I know that the parts that you don't understand are the things that I'm going to help you figure out and make sure you're informed so that you have a voice, so that you can be an active participant and be seen as an equal partner in the care of your children. Interventions and plans that are made without the direction of families are destined to fail. And the lack of family involvement in the planning and implementation of an intervention accounts for much of the failure of social services on behalf of families. And that's sad. And we have to stop that. We need to give parents that voice. So let's recognize them as the experts that they are, just like you want to be recognized as the expert that you are in your field. So in recognizing that the parent's the expert, we start to build a relationship with them. It's not always easy. Parents can sometimes be very hard to get to know, hard to build a trusting relationship with. Sometimes we've reached a limit where we don't think that anything's going to get better, that we don't have hope, that we can't make change, that nothing is going to change. And then we get them for peer parent support. Yay. But I'm happy to say that I have been able to successfully engage every parent in the last 12 years that I've had the opportunity to work with. And how do I do that? I build and maintain a relationship that's probably no different than any of us that are building any kind of a relationship with anybody else. You know, where I validate them, I show respect, provide hope, build trust, stay focused. I try to be a connector. I stay in contact with them. And sometimes that may mean multiple times a day, multiple times a week. And sometimes I have parents that I don't hear from for months, and then they feel bad. I'm sorry I didn't keep you in the loop. If you don't need me, I'm happy to have you not need me. So 3 criteria for building peer partnerships. So the family needs to believe that we genuinely care. The family needs to believe that we understand their situation. And they need to believe that we are able to help them. So I try to look at this as, you know, what if this was my kid? And I can thankfully, and you know, we're not bound by social work laws or guidance. And I can share, you know, this is what happened when I was raising my son, and I had the similar experience. And then they know I get it, and then they know that I care, and then they know that I've got their back. You know, I always refer to moms as their name instead of in a meeting when they say, well, mom, the mom this or the kid this. You know, I call them by their name. I listen and react supportively in a strength-based manner. And I can't read the rest of my slide because there's stuff blocking it, so I'm sorry. And we always follow through and do what we say we're going to do. Sometimes that's not easy. And sometimes I do have to call and say, I'm not able to do that right now, or that didn't work out the way I thought, but at least we're communicating. So being a good communicator is really helpful. And now I can't.
Screen sharing is possible.
Yeah, now I can't.
And then click on the slide.
Sorry, we're having a technical difficulty with them.
Left side, you just click on
So the slideshow at the top.
yeah.
So in talking about does the family believe that we're able to help them, you know, I think one of the biggest things that we do is we provide hope to them. We demonstrate knowledge of the systems, we connect them, we support them. We try to provide any resources or education that we're familiar with in our area. In our lived experience.
We're going to have to stop the share and then reopen it because it's being finicky.
Yeah.
It's, there you go. We should be good.
And then our lived experience is full of shared situations, and we get to talk about those. And, you know, and families get to see other professionals interact with us in a respectful way. And I think that really gives them hope that they can also find themselves in that situation at some point instead of feeling like they're low man on the totem pole. So peer support provides parents that are entering a system of familiarity with the process. We help to navigate the system with them. I'm going to go through some of these quickly because I think I've talked about them, but hope for the future. I don't think I can say hope enough. Hope is really important. I tell my parents I will carry the torch of hope for you until I can hand it back. And when I see them getting hopeful, I literally raise my hand and I say, here's your torch of hope. I'm giving it back. So you take it and I'm here to support you. And we give them courage and confidence to advocate for their child's needs. Sometimes they just need a push to feel empowered. We make sure they understand their rights. And we act as a translator in all the different languages that all of the different agencies speak that people don't understand. It's a big alphabet soup, and we help them kind of go through that. We help them get their basic needs met. I think we talked about that a time or two ago, that families can't move past getting their basic needs met until their basic needs are met. So we, provide those resources for them, for food, for shelter, for whatever. We respect the family's culture. We help parents to identify their goals, their needs, their wants. We validate them for what they've gone through. We listen and we validate their feelings about it, even if we don't agree that that's the way it happened, or we don't agree that your perspective is necessarily the same as everybody else's. We still validate their feelings about it. And parents will tell the same story over and over and over again until you validate them. So we provide them an opportunity to be validated for what they're thinking and feeling. We let them know that we trust their instincts and we want to know what their instincts are. We try to keep them involved at every level. And we recognize that they have other responsibilities that get in the way, and we try to help them to kind of go through that. And sometimes we're just a safe person or a safe space for them to vent, to cry, or to just be. And I tell all my parents, if you want to call me and just cry on the phone, or you're crying and you need support, call me. I'll probably start crying with you. We can cry on the phone together till we can stop and talk. And I've done that before, and it's therapeutic. Why is that not working? So peer support partners have lived experience. We can adapt our strategies that are based on the unique needs of parents that we understand, because we are those parents as well. We recognize that every family is different. And we get invited to look behind the curtain to see what's really going on, where a lot of other professionals don't get to get back there and see, because you're not trusted, or they're not sure of what you're going to think if, their house is messy, or they have a trauma history, or whatever it's going on. But we get invited back there. We provide hope for the family. And again, we have the lived experience, which is really important for peer support. So our role is support, listening, validating feelings, experiences, offering encouragement, hope, emphasizing their strengths. Our role is for information and education. Our role is to model partnerships and how to communicate with other professionals, how to choose your battles, how to thoughtfully plan to address whatever it is, a behavior, a crisis, your needs. We do a lot of modeling. Again, I can't get my, peer support is not being an expert on mental health or juvenile justice or children's services. It's not being a decision maker for the family. We're here to help them be informed so that they can make the best decision. We're not here to convince them to do it this professional's way, or, we need this parent to get on board with this program, so we need you, Marjorie, to come in and convince them that this is what they need to do. Yeah, that's not my role. My role is to help them understand your program and how it might work and how it might not work for their family, so that they can make an informed decision. And our role is not to save the child or the family, but to empower them so that they can meet their needs long term. Obviously, we don't want to fish for people. We want to teach them how to fish. I don't know why this. So I put out a call for all of you professionals to call for reinforcements, and that would be us. Use peer support. We're here to help. We're here to help the family be successful, and that means making you successful too. So peer partnerships can ease your workload. So use us, we're here. And I hope I got through in my amount of time. I told them I would go really fast, so sorry if I talked too fast, but in summary, the same thing that we started with, that family voice is vital to the success of youth and families at every level. And peer support is a great way to provide the education, empowerment, resources, and support to parents to get those better outcomes that we all want. And if you would like to contact me, my mobile number and my email address is there. I'd be happy to have a conversation or to support you in any way I can. Thanks for hearing about parent voice and parent peer support.
Thank you very much.